Hello, everybody, and good evening, and welcome to the weekly Practice Accelerator Challenge. I am one of your hosts of many, Annie Asher. I've got the wonderful, beautiful Chanel Dunn with me. Shani, how are you today?
I'm good.
Good. We just had the OG Regan hop on. Hey, Regan.
Hey, guys.
How's it going?
It's going awesome.
Nice. We're just waiting for Dan to hop back on, but just wanted to thank all of you who attended our session 2 event. We had such a good time. I hope you guys did too. We had so much beautiful learning going on, beautiful education being shared, such an amazing collective of people who joined us and shared their truth in their medicine and all that. I just got so inspired by everything that's happening with what we're doing. So thank you to all of you. Regan, thank you for all the amazing content you put together. Dan, thanks for teaching such great stuff this weekend too. It was just a blast. So announcements, we just want you to get ready and mark your calendars for session 3, which is September, I think 16th and 17th. I'm going to leave it in the hands of wonderful Dan and wonderful Regan. Take it from here.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I want to do a little recap of the event. Dan, what were your takeaways from session 2, the innovation of medicine?
I think for me personally, as far as big things that I walked away with, the A2M, I think is a big thing for me. I want to get back in. We've been pretty removed from the regenerative space, and I've dug in a little bit further in the A2M, and we're seeing, because we get a lot of autoimmune, we're seeing that there's good research on it with rheumatoid arthritis as well, and just eating that stuff up. And so we're trying to get that executed right away. I love that. Big takeaways for me, I think I told you earlier, my staff being there said we need to raise our prices. I was like, hell yeah. So I think that was a massive thing for me. And it was nice to see everybody, the tools that we used, putting those into play. I really like the innovative medicine tool that you put together. That I feel like I can apply constantly and just keep breaking those things down and looking at those things. So it was, man, I'd say those are my top 3 things from the weekend.
Love it. Well, yeah, I think I got a lot out of, it's always the conversations, but what do you think of Howard's talk on AI?
Man, that, that was such a good talk, because, I started talking to you at dinner on Saturday night, and I don't feel like I have a very inventive. I feel like it just takes something that's already been invented and do other things. But that's the first time I felt like my brain felt super creative, and I was like thinking about things in a whole new way. But it got me super excited, especially at dinner when we were talking about, you don't have to be the inventor, but being able to either figure out how to make it easier for people to utilize, or figure out what someone's going to need to use a new technology. And then, you're saying that's what we're already doing with like peptides and the advanced lab work and all these different things. Man, that was so exciting. We've been doing, like, that made me think about the RGCC, the cancer stuff.
Oh,
We've been doing that quite a bit. And man, that's so exciting. But just innovating and it makes you, I always think that we're innovating because we come up with new stuff. But then when I realize we are actually innovating because there's new technologies, and it's like, you forget sometimes, like the peptides is a very innovative thing.
Yeah.
Right. And even bringing these things together in a way no one's doing, like, that's innovation. It's like, I don't know. I was so excited after that talk. Like, my brain was I had so many notes.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm going to do with all those notes, but I had a lot of notes.
Right. Well, that talk, it made me feel like I was 10 years behind, but then I just got back up to speed, because what Howard was talking about are, there's brand new things coming into the marketplace all the time. Some of them are relevant and meaningful. Some of them aren't. He was saying, don't bet on everything, but I love the fact that he brought in Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, because essentially what Elon Musk did is he took technologies that already existed, and he said, well, how can I make a program out of this? And that's what we do in our medicine. Like, let's make a program out of this new concept, out of this shortcut. How can we shortcut getting satellites into space so that we can, get more contracts? And then once more people are traveling back and forth to the moon, then we're going to have an infrastructure that's there. And then pretty soon we'll go from the moon to Mars. And then from Mars we'll be, go. And so Elon Musk, this is just his initial plan. Like, let's make it a normal thing to travel into space. And so he created a shortcut.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
That was amazing. And he, that just that whole idea is translate your thoughts about innovations into a product. I was like, man, that's a really awesome thing. And one other thing I wanted to add, the way you kicked off the event, the first principles thinking, I never saw that before. And I had only seen a little bit of the agenda. I just kind of brushed over it because it wasn't like a part I was presenting on. I love that. That was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Just like test your assumptions, question them all the time. And, always like take a step back, why, ask why more frequently, and you get much better answers. So, I think it was great to hear see everybody's mind just being blown up. I used Dan Sullivan's, his concept of shortcuts. Our shortcuts to help people get healthy faster. Those shortcuts become programs, and then those programs become platforms. And so ultimately at Go Wellness, that's what we are doing, is we are converting those programs into a whole platform where you can help so many more people and scale it out.
Yeah. One of the things you'd said that either the conversations, the side conversations, I think that's the most powerful thing about the in-person, and we had an amazing amount of people virtually, but having people there, like, I was curious, like, what were some big takeaways from you just on the sidebars that you had?
Oh man, there's so many. I think the big takeaway that I had is people's confidence is up. Just having like a conversation with Eric Sherrill, for example, and being like, hey, here's how you can get more thyroid patients into your practice. You just need to do this one thing. Yeah. And he just kind of looked at me and said, I never thought of it that way. Yeah. And then, but also hearing what he's doing in his practice, it's just super cool to see what he's doing on blood labs. And so he went back and, you saw in that group text, he's already getting his blood labs going out today with, new price structure and everything. And so part of the conversations I like is, I think I'm like you, Dan, is, I like to be useful in as many situations as I can. And that helps me feel like I'm giving. I feel like anytime I'm teaching, it's my act of service. And so in those conversations, sometimes we can create big shortcuts, but the thing I learned, probably the thing that lit me up the most is the immune protocol that Buzz was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
With the perinatal tissue, just being like, well, yeah, why don't we just use those same way that we use peptides? And they're getting great results overseas. And maybe we could, reverse some autoimmunity, because autoimmunity is massive. That's the other conversation that came out, not in the side conversations, but it's what people brought up over and over again is the amount of chronic disease that is just exploding. It's pretty disturbing.
Yeah, and that would be a great thing for session 3 to add in some discussion on the autoimmune and the approaches and how to test for it, stuff like that. But yeah, the sub Q with the perinatal tissue, I'm like, never considered that.
No, and Buzz mentioned that about 15 minutes before the event started, and I was like, what? Like, there's my innovation. That's awesome.
Yeah, he was like, and he was just, I love like when someone has a really a breadth of knowledge about something, and they make it seem like, yeah, you dumbass, he's like, yeah, it's all about those proteins. I mean, they get in the body, they're going to do what they need to do. And I'm like, oh yeah, like, why do we have to complicate it? Sometimes the innovation is just making it really, really simple, dumbing it down.
Well, that's all innovation is. It's shortcuts, right? Shortcuts and bypasses. But But see, Buzz figured it out before we did. And so then Buzz shares this shortcut with us. And then we're sharing our functional medicine shortcuts with him. And it's just like, I mean, that's the cool thing about collaboration. And when you get in groups like that, it's fun. You know, the other big takeaway, and you were talking about this in our meeting, is just, you know, when Cade went through the financial agreement, you know, it's like, here's how the programs are structured. Here's why we have to price them the way we do. It's the only way we can make things work. And so, you know, if you guys, yeah, I think we had a lot of comments on that. And I think that will be something that we'll have to do in every single session, just as reminders. But yeah, just the business aspect of it is, you know, a lot of us, we don't know how to run a business, and that gave people a huge foundation.
Yeah. Yeah. That was massive. Loved it.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on Stuart Bell on the 90-minute books? You know, he was talking about writing a book.
So, you know, I had spoke to you a while back. I like that they make the process so easy, and hearing it like clarified that for me. You know, I was like, oh, okay. I don't know why in my mind it seemed like it was going to be such, even though you were like, this is a really simple process, but being able to see how they did it, because really, yeah, it's 90-minute, it's total of 90 minutes of conversation with you, you know, kind of on the first part, you know, like you said, recommend like having an outline, which is cool, because there was like, I already have like 4 different books that I have ideas for, and I could hash out an outline so fast. On one of them, I have quite a bit of detail, and I'm like, man. And then what was like $2,700?
Yeah, and that's for their higher end program.
Yeah.
Like I think the other one's about $1,000 cheaper, $500 cheaper. So
it's just such a sweet deal. Like,
it's amazing. Yeah.
Cool. I can do that.
Yeah, it's really cool. So I think that was interesting because it came at a good time, because Kyle on Friday did the storytelling, you know, how to connect with our patients, because, you know, how often do we get stuck in a room and we just want to, you know, with the patient, we just want to nerd out on all the science, and the patient's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then Kyle Gray puts it in, you know, so it's in a story so that people connect with it more. I think that's, you know, it's one of the most compassionate things we can do as providers, is learn how to communicate in ways that people connect with.
Yeah. So crazy.
And then, so Kyle Gray got everyone thinking like, oh yeah, I guess I don't have to have some like, you know, Nobel Peace Prize or some peer-reviewed article that I've published, or some, you know, something crazy, some award. I have a story that really could inspire people and hundreds of people. And then when you had Stuart come on with 90-minute books, suddenly it's like, hey, well, not only that, but you can write a book about it. And then that book helps other people connect with you. So I saw that as being very streamlined, and the timing couldn't have been better. So hopefully you guys, if you missed that, go to 90-minute books. And I don't know, Annie or Shawnee, do you guys happen to have the number that Howard Getson with Capital Logics? He gave us all a number that we can text and get some really cool, all the updates on innovation and you know, AI. Howard will send that to you. And so, or Cade, hey Cade, does anyone have that number? Cade's going to plug it in the chat box.
Plug it in the chat box for everyone. Yeah, that I text that over, and yeah, I think they're working on sending all the details over.
Yeah, that was awesome. You know, the other thing that really that I thought went really well, Dan, is having you and Misha talk on the case management and what that cycle's like.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you always have such, I think you're just a wordsmith when it comes to questions. Like, you ask questions that really stop people in their tracks. And do you remember what some of those questions are that you shared with the group on a Saturday? Hey everybody, Regan Archibald here. I hope you enjoyed the Go Wellness show and maybe learned a couple things you could apply to your practice. If you're a healthcare entrepreneur who wants to work in an academic think tank with like-minded humans who are just like you, looking to provide better service, better quality of care for your patients, reach us at info@gowellness.com and we're happy to do a free practice analysis for you.